And here we are live. Whoa, I started on time. Right on time. Where is everybody? What's going on? Overpower players, where are you? Fans everywhere. Come in, say hi, let me know you're here. Am I having problems here? This is weird. Hey Charlie, how you doing? I'm having problems with some things here, but I think, okay. This is odd. Hey Ben, how you doing? Hey Ricky, how is everybody? Look at that, now everyone's showing up. Game Master, how are you, buddy? I know you're as good as you can be considering you live in California, right? No issues? Okay, good. For some reason, I'm not seeing the views or any of the stats, but that's okay. They'll come along. How is everybody? Did you guys get all rested up after the Nats? Man, it took me all week. I did not play a single game of Overpower last week. I think a couple guys came out on Tuesday and a handful on Friday, but they did it without me. Game Master, you're just waking up, huh? I was literally burnt out and just wanted to rest a little. So it's 7 people with 6 likes, and I'm digging it. Thank you guys for leaving the likes. You know, that really does help a lot. There we go. Now I'm seeing everything. Almost everything. Says we have 7 people watching, but only 1 person is tuned in. Whatever, YouTube. Andrew, how are you, buddy? Hey, Larry. Good to see you. Keep sending those Bo Jackson videos, buddy. I may not reply to them, but I watch every one of them. That man is something else. Speaking of Bo Jackson, you guys going to play some Bo Jackson Battle Arena? Oh, sorry. I just had to get that in there. Nora and I still plan to go to Cincinnati, although I think Ray has backed out on us. He's going to be somewhere, I think, out of the country again. Ricky says, I'll leave the like on for you. Thank you, Ricky. I appreciate that. Game Master Bo does know. And we haven't been playing it too much yet lately, but we do plan to dig into it. Yes, sir, Larry. Those videos are fun. I love watching everything about him. Watching him play football or baseball, doesn't matter to me. And hearing those stories about when he was at Auburn, it's pretty cool. Does Bo know OP? Honorary invite into the Nationals in 2026. Game Master, that's great. I will try and work that out. Next year's Nats, we'll see if I can get Bo Jackson an honorary invite. That would be amazing, wouldn't it? So we got a lot going on with the Nats wrapped up, about to start the season. I got some notes here somewhere about some things we want to talk about. I want to start with the Nats, even though technically it ended, it's still this year. So I'm going to go back in time a little bit and say that the 2-hour delay that morning was ridiculous. Am I being a little extreme by saying it was ridiculous? Guys, when you have an event that's under probably 100 players and you have issues after pairing the first round, I think you'd be better off to just restart the whole event. Don't repair everybody. Just delete and start from scratch. If they would have done that after the first round was screwed up, it would not have taken 2 hours to fix. We could have got everything underway. And I know hindsight's 2020, but I think going forward, if you're having issues, and you've already paired one round, delete the event and let's move on to another one. Just set it up again. It takes mere minutes to set it up again. Then all your players can just log in. Now with the Nats, it was an invite, so you had to be put into the system. But I don't think it should have taken that long. And I think if you just restart, even the Nats, entering everybody manually would have been a whole lot faster. Then you wouldn't have had to take the time to figure out who was here and who wasn't here and all that stuff. I don't know, 15, 20 minutes to put in 63 names or IDs. Shouldn't have been that big of a deal. Now that was my biggest complaint about the Nats. Hey Goof, how are you? Of course I didn't like getting paired against Corey in the very first round, or Howard getting paired against Derek after 3 tries at pairing everything, but it is what it is, and we got through it. Enter everyone manually, then rerun the event with everyone after. John, how are you, buddy? I got a question for you, John, while I got you on here. I didn't hear, and I just realized yesterday, who won the Zorro Ultra Rare Foil card? That was a side event special that we gave away, but I never did hear who won that. Get back to the office and just do the pairing so that the rankings match. Get back. Sawyer won it? Oh, that's awesome. Okay. He'll probably pop in here sometime tonight. I sure hope so. Yeah, I just think we kind of did it wrong. But, you know, that's why we called it Season 0, so that we could make mistakes and learn from them and get everything right for Season 1. I think going forward, it's just a prudent thing to do, and we shall learn and grow from it, right? And hoping AJ's brother got his prizes. John, that's, man, I knew nothing about him, and he came in to pick him up, and nobody told me they were there for him. It turns out I don't think they were here. I think Corey had him, but he will get his prizes tomorrow. Oh, John, I'd like to see that. John's working on a write-up with lessons learned. I can't wait to read it. That'll be great. So going forward, guys, I kind of think we're going to outgrow my room next year. We were able to seat 63 with no problems at all. I had enough seats in here at one time for 100 exactly. And I had to take a few seats out because the streaming setup was a little bit larger than I thought it was going to be. They wanted to leave room so they could interview people. So that cost us about 8 chairs. But I think we could still have seated 92 without putting up more tables. I could have put up more tables if needed. But getting over 100 was a lot tougher than I thought. The room is set up according to the fire code. We can have 151 people in here. But they're counting 6 people per table, which, as you know, as a player, that doesn't work. We can do 4 people per table. So I got to get a little creative next year and maybe set some things up a little different. Maybe move the t-shirts over inside my little display cases area, but we'll do it, whatever it takes. But if we outgrow the room, it's even better, right? We'll get a bigger room. We'll get another room. I mean, we can just run the Nats in here, and we'll get the other room on the other side of the food court for side events, whatever we have to do. John says, put the streaming setup in the other room with the judge watching them. Maybe. The only thing I don't like about that other room is that the ceilings are really low and it gets kind of loud in there. We should be okay in February. Obviously, the air conditioner's not going to turn on, so we might be able to get away with that. And that would have freed up a lot of space. So that's a good point, John. I'll take a look at that. It just says we can use smaller cards, fit more people at the table. Hey Joe, how are you, buddy? James, how are you? I'd play on a blanket outside. Yeah, we'll make it work. Columbus is going to make sure that the Nats stay here for as long as possible. I can't wait. Ricky's ready for season 0.5. Let's just skip that. Go straight to season 1, Ricky. Come on. All right, now that we got a few people in here, let's talk about the season. It is not a good schedule for Team Ohio. Some people already know this. I've told a few people. But Team Ohio will not be able to make 3 of the 4 regionals. We're even having troubles getting to Robin's event on March 20th, 21st, and 22nd. Corey and I are going to be there. Jessica had some plans that she can't get out of, so she's not going to be there. I think Nor had plans that he's trying to rearrange the schedule so that he could go. AJ's trying to work it out so that he can come. It's going to be tough. But I'm kind of feeling like I want to be there. I want to see if I'm losing my touch. I had such a bad nationals. As chess players get older, it gets harder and harder for them to compete. I hope that's not my issue. So I'm going to go to Onslaught at the Edge, and I'm going to try and dominate that one and see if I still have anything left in the tank. So right now, Corey and I are coming. We're hoping AJ and Nora get to come. I don't know about Ray or Jalen. I don't think they've said that they have plans that weekend. Oh, they might not want to play the Classic game. Ray is just now learning battle sites a little. And actually, he missed last week's lesson on that. So he might not even want to come. We shall see. Thanks, Goof. I appreciate that. The room was set up great, and I liked how the stream had a TV set up nearby so people didn't have to crowd the players on camera. I really liked that part, too. They came up and asked me if we had a monitor that they could do that. But I didn't, and I don't know where they came up with that monitor to do that, but that was awesome. So that made it nice. We could sit off to the side, and the players probably didn't even notice that we were all watching them. So that was really good. And Larry's asking, Valhalla or Philly? Won't be at either one, Larry. That Valhalla is, that weekend is GalaxyCon. Literally the biggest convention that we have all year. So there is no way that we could pull out of the store and go to that. Jessica and Nor are considering going to Brazil. And we told Jessica if she wanted to go to Brazil, we would obviously run the store without her. It wouldn't be a problem. But there are so many things going on. The weekends just didn't line up for us. We are going, I think all of us, Corey, Jessica, Nor, myself, are all going to be able to go to Houston May 1st and 2nd. But that's my wife's birthday. So I have to get permission from her to attend that one. And I'm telling you, the schedule for 2026 is just killing us in Ohio. She would probably allow Corey and Jessica to go without any problems. But I don't know if she's going to give me the weekend off or not. I'm going to get back with you on that really soon. Hopefully she'll let me attend that one. June, of course, the regional and the Phil Miller OP Cup, we're good for that. All of us are. We had to rearrange that schedule a little bit. It was originally set up for Origins, and I said that won't work. And they wanted to move it the week before Origins, which is a convention that's almost as big as Origins. And I said, nope, that won't work. So we got the last weekend of June, and that's going to work for everybody. I'll at least be able to play in the regional and then run the OP Cup. So we're good on June 27th and 28th, I believe that is, right? James says, you were running around doing stuff the whole time. It'd be impossible for you to be able to focus on the wins. After round 3, round 4 and 5, I was just awful. So, yeah, I was pretty burnt out at that point. And I told James next year, if he would like, I will sit out the Nationals and just help him run it. But we'll see how that goes. What I would like to do is just have actually kind of a smaller staff running the event. Just maybe myself and James running it, and have 2 or 3 judges walking around the room, being prepared to make rulings. I think my second criticism of the Nats was the judges were not walking around the room. They were waiting to be called. I think we got to get them walking the room when the room is that big, especially when a game was in the back corner. I heard rumors that a couple judge calls were made back there, and a judge never showed up because they were up front and didn't hear it. So I really, really want to make sure the judges are walking around the room all day at the next one. So Ricky's asking, am I coming to Houston? I got to get my wife's permission, Ricky. That's her birthday, May 1st. So we shall see if she will allow that one. Right now, the only one I can guarantee that I'm going to be able to attend is Stroudsburg and the one we're hosting right here in Columbus. And I probably won't even be playing in the OP Cup, just the regional, and then I'll run the OP Cup. It's crazy. July 31st weekend is Niagara Falls and a Canadian regional. I'm going to be at the National Sports Card Collectors Convention that weekend. So there's no way I'm going to make either one of those. The Sports Collectors Conventions in Chicago, and those 2 events being in Canada. I'm out. I don't know. Corey, Nora, and Jessica may work out a deal where 1 or 2 of them get to go up to Canada. I'm not sure, but somebody's got to stay and run the store that weekend. It's not that big of a weekend at the store, but we may be able to get away with that one. The 3 of them can go up there while I'm in Chicago. Steve says, best of luck to you and early happy birthday to her. I'll tell her that, Steve. Thank you. And Raven, we can get dinner then instead. John, yep, we can. Are you going to be at the National Sports Card Collectors, or are you just really close by? Let's see. Then September 5th and 6th, another one. It's unbelievable. It's almost like they did it. They wanted to make sure Ohio couldn't make these events. The September event, the Northwest Regional and the West Coast Melee, is Matsuri-Con, which, as you all may know, that is a huge anime convention. And we ran the regional during that con last year, but we all had to work the store too. So there's absolutely no way we're going to be able to go to Seattle September 5th and 6th. It's just awful. October 7th, the battle for 17th, sorry, October 17th, the battle for Boston. We may actually have a chance for that one. I don't see a big conflict of schedule on that one, so we're hoping to come out and see John for that one, for that weekend. Then December 5th, Global Overpower Day. We have the PAX Unplugged Regional, and then Valhalla in Sao Paulo, Brazil. I'm curious, are any of you guys thinking about going to Brazil? I know that would be really, really a great trip and a great place to go to, but it ain't happening for us. Hey, Howard, how are you? Unless Jessica and Nora end up going to Brazil, they would be the only ones of our group that can make it down. PAX Unplugged, Corey and I definitely will not be there. Jessica and Nora, I don't know if Jessica and Nora are going to go. We would probably be able to do that if they wanted to drive out. But GalaxyCon is such a big convention for us. It's just our absolute biggest weekend of the year. Nothing else comes close to it, not even the anime convention, MatsuriCon. So our Overpower traveling in 2026 is going to be very, very restricted. We'll be up March. We're hoping to go to Texas, and we might get to travel to Boston. They hacked Ohio's calendars for the 2026 schedule, says the Game Master. You know, that's what I'm starting to think. We had too many top 8 finishes, and I think the Seattle guys bribed some people to make sure we didn't show up at all those events, because Seattle wants to have more top 8s than us this year. Goose says, I've been toying with the Canadian regional, but depending on PTO and such, I'd say there's a chance I do Brazil instead. Wow, Goof. That'd be awesome. And the Game Master might make a business trip to Brazil. Yeah, you can find a way to write that off. And it shouldn't be too hard because it's gaming, right? Oh my gosh, Howard. It's not next weekend, right? We got a couple weeks. 2 weeks. Is it a week from Friday? 9th? It is, isn't it? Holy cow. Yeah, we're kind of looking forward to it. Also, I guess the guys played Friday night. They got out their classic decks, the new classic decks that they wanted to play, and we're battling it out. I agree, Howard, that the Legacy Mixed is better than the modern game. But I like the classic Legacy characters better. Although I am going to have a modern character or two on my deck out there in Stroudsburg. It says, after all, I got to live up to my name. Yes, you got to be a traveler. That's a heck of a travel, though, going clear to Brazil. I know Felipe's really looking forward to it. He's going to make sure everybody has a really good time. I don't think anyone who goes to Brazil is going to regret it. Not that I think you'd regret going to any of these events, but Brazil should be a fun time. Speaking of Felipe, the first new set of this year is coming in a Kickstarter from Felipe called The Few and Cursed. It's going to be 2 starter decks, kind of starter decks, but not really starters. They wanted to call them challenge decks, but they can't because that name's being used or something. But 2 full-size decks ready to play right out of the box. And that should be going up, I believe, in April. The Kickstarter is probably going to go up sometime in April. Actually, I'm not supposed to know this, so I can't tell you exactly when. But I do know approximately, I'm going to say the end of April is when that goes live. Where's my, there we go. And, what's going on here? It's not going to be the end of April. It's going to be a little sooner than that. Sometime in April, that Kickstarter is going to go up. I hope you guys all go out and support it. Let's get Felipe's first Overpower Kickstarter fulfilled the first day. Wouldn't that be awesome? Goose says, I went to Peru in 2024. Could add my second South American country to my countries visited list. Plus, this promo will be a rare one. Those promos are going to be tough. Howard says, if the world settles down a bit, Ty D and I may be attending Brazil. Wow. Wow, Howard, that'd be a trip, wouldn't it? How long an air flight would that be for you? Hey, Andy, how are you? Yeah, it's going to be in April. Ricky says, the Challenger deck. Game Master says, I was debating Ohio, but no regrets, and glad I showed up. Yeah, I'm glad you came too, man. It was great having you and meeting you in person. Carpe says, they talked about it before, so that's the plan at least. Yeah. I got to get with Felipe and see when we can announce. Felipe's going to be back on the stream the Monday that the Kickstarter launches. Not in person, but we will do a live one with him and get him on here to tell us all about it as much as he can. And he'll be able to tell us all the secret stuff that he's not supposed to tell us right now. Game Master says, thanks again for your time too, Doug, and appreciate all you do for OP. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Challenger deck does sound interesting, and if you know, you know. Yeah. I'm excited about those decks. I can't wait to see them. The art looks fantastic. I think when you put it beside Invincible art, it's going to be as good as Invincible, probably about as violent. I don't know. Maybe not quite as violent. We kind of had that talk on Facebook. I saw here recently. I'd like to see some things toned down just a little bit, but it's not my game. We'll see what happens going forward. I know they're talking about another IP that I'm not excited about at all, and I kind of hope they change their mind and just drop that IP. I do plan to mention that to the guys, but I haven't yet. I think they're kind of going the wrong direction. Howard says the first 2026, the Few and Curse promo will be released at Strasbourg. Everyone attendance gets one, and the top 8 get a foil version. I can't wait to see what it is. I wonder if he's going to spoil that before the event. I haven't talked to Felipe since he went home on Tuesday. I have to start bugging him a little bit about it. Maybe he'll come on here next Monday and spoil the artwork for the promo card. Larry says, have to drop. This was good. Well, Larry, thanks for tuning in. Sorry you got to go so soon. Hang in there. We'll see you soon, right? Game Master Marvel, man, no. Marvel is definitely not the next IP they're going to announce. I wish it was. So after the Few and Curse, we got to wait clear to August to get Invincible. Jessica is dying to open some Invincible boxes, and we're kind of going to open a lot of boxes on stream of the Invincible, kind of like what we did with the World Legends stuff. We may take it up another notch. It's not going to be quite as fun because there's not as much foils to look for, but she'll have more fun, and I think Nora will too because of the characters. So it'll be interesting. James says, probably the boys, but I'd like the Tick. I think the Tick would be fun, but I don't see him fitting in right now. any of the sets that are planned. And I don't think he can do his own set. I could be wrong, but I don't think he can carry one. I think we need to get a little bit more modern and not go back to any more 1990s things. Let's get the Marvel license rolling and do some X-Men stuff is what I want to see. I'm in it to get them to the Marvel license, whatever it takes. I don't like all these other sets when we can't have a Marvel license. No spoilers. No, I ain't get no spoilers. You don't think he'll let us have the spoiler art a week early, Howard? I think he might. I don't know. I don't know how much Felipe is allowed, but we shall see. It'll be great seeing everybody again so soon. How about how long do you guys come? How many of you are coming to Robbins Onslaught at the Edge? Bunch of you coming? Are we going to hit 40? I heard 40 was from somebody. 40 was the goal. I think we can do that. The tick works. Maybe a challenger deck set 2. Maybe. I don't know. I just can't see myself getting too excited about the tick. Hey, Ben, awesome. You're coming? Great. And thank you for your charity donation. And Charlie, you're still in here. Thank you for your donation, too. We ended up raising $300 for Ronald McDonald House. And I'll be dropping that cash off to Ronald McDonald House this week. Game Master, X-Men 97 or Marvel vs. Capcom. I don't want to go back to the 90s again. I want to see something modern. Andy says, I thought about Strasbourg, but man, I've been having to budget my vacation heavily. Patty Crypto's going to be there. Of course he is. I knew you'd be there, buddy. Can't wait to see you there. See what kind of a deck you come up with. Andy, how did you like playing with Battle Sites Friday night? I wasn't here, but I heard they were showing you how. I think you guys that are trying to take the modern game and go back, add the Battle Sites to it, you can do it. You might be more comfortable just playing any heroes, though. Thanks, Charlie. Yeah, it is pretty awesome. We like to support Ronald McDonald House as much as we can. And Charlie, I'm doing my best to get your shirts in the mail tomorrow. I'd like to say I promise, but I'm waiting on the Princess and the P. I should have that card for you tomorrow, and along with the events, another $20, and I can ship all that stuff to you tomorrow. Andy says they must have meant someone else. Oh, you weren't here Friday? There was a bunch of, maybe, you know what, they might have said you weren't, or maybe it was Saturday they were playing. I don't know. Oh, okay. I showed up pretty late and just had regular modern. Must have been Saturday they were playing with the Battle Sites. Yusuf and Jessica, Nor, Corey, I think were the ones that were playing Saturday. I went home Saturday when I got off work. We had the Arnold here and all those. It was another crazy weekend. The great thing about having a comic books / game store in a convention center is that you have all these great conventions that come in every weekend, almost every weekend. The bad part about it is it makes it very hard for us to get away for a lot of these events. Last year, everything just kind of lined up and there were no contradictions. And then this year, almost everyone, there's a contradiction. So we'll do our best to get to as many as we can because we obviously are still having a lot of fun playing the game. I hope you guys are too. I did hear a lot of people talking after the Nats about they really want to make early feminist leader paperclip to Joan instead of being out there forever. And if they eroded that, I think that'd be pretty good. Oh, Andy says, oh, they were playing Sunday and I couldn't make that. That's right, it was. Yeah, it was Sunday. Yesterday. Jeez. My days just all blur together when we have conventions like that. The Arnold Classic, Fitness Classic, or something like that is what it's called. Arnold Schwarzenegger was here. It is the biggest event in Columbus for the entire year. And they pack the convention center. There's a lot of other places around town where they're at. It's just huge. So we had a good time. Yep, location. Sometimes, you got to take the good with the bad. And the bad is we can't travel as much as we'd like sometimes. But I love it here. I think our customers love us being here. And I wouldn't trade this location for anything. Now, if we get back to the schedule for 2026, I keep getting distracted. You get any bites from Arnold folks seeing Tarzan out on the ERB? No, Andy, I don't think we sold any Overpower except to Noor and his brother Yusuf. I think they might have each bought a box. Yusuf got one. He didn't buy it. I think his wife bought it for him as a gift. But I don't think we sold any outside of that. Now, I don't think... What do we got coming up? What's our next big one? I'm not sure. I think at the end of this month, the weekend after Onslaught on the Edge, I'll be going to the Windy City Pulp and Paper Fest. That's the same weekend as C2E2. I don't know if Jessica's still planning to go to C2E2 or not. She wanted to. And we found out it was the same weekend as Windy City Pulp and Paper. When I get there, I will see the ERB guys. I'm going to try to get a few more Victory Harbin's autographed to give away for pricing again. Those were pretty cool. I'm a big fan of Victory Harbin, by the way. I'm really liking that character in the game. The book, I tried to read the book. I couldn't get into it. But we shall see if I go back to it or not. I gave it to Briella, the granddaughter. She just thought it was okay too. Game Master says I might scope out Long Beach Convention Center once AI overlords secure my loan. I can only imagine what it might cost to be in there, but might not be a bad spot. I know at the Javits in New York, there's no place, I don't believe there's a place to put in a store. They have the snack bar and the newsstand in there, but a storefront I don't think would work at the Javits. I'm sure there are convention centers that would do it. Mickey says, I should be at Houston and Columbus, then possibly Seattle. You can't make Stroudsburg. That's a bit of a drive or a flight for you, isn't it, Ricky? Going clear to the easternmost part of Pennsylvania. Hey, Merlin. How are you, buddy? Merlin will be in Stroudsburg, won't you, buddy? Sean? Houston? I don't have. Has they put the top deck pages up for those? I keep forgetting to look. I fell behind. When I start doing store stuff, I kind of lose focus on the Overpower. What's going on? Every once in a while, I pop in on the Facebook page, but that's about it. Merlin's a nope for Stroudsburg. What the heck? Man. That weekend's no good for me. Well, I just went through the whole yearly schedule, Merlin. There are very few weekends that are good for Team Ohio. Yeah, all NAO events are up on Top Deck. Okay. I'm going to go sign up on Onslaught on the Edge. Oh, you know what? I knew that goof. Yes. Okay. I'm going to go sign up, get registered for Onslaught on the Edge. I did know those were up. Oh my gosh. Wow. Less store, more OP. I wish it worked that way. I need more store, less OP. Got to pay the bills. I'm having the time of my life doing it, though. And it's kind of cool that we get two of them here in Columbus. Get a regional and the Nats right here in Columbus. I mean, technically, that's all I need, right? And if I don't qualify at one of the regionals, I always got the last chance qualifier. Hey, Howard, are you still there? Are they doing top 8 at the NAOL get bids this year? For the Nats? I forgot to check that. I know it's probably been in your post, but I don't remember offhand. Roland says, I plan to come back to Columbus in June. We'll be at the Niagara events, possibly Seattle, and possibly PAX December. But we'll see. Well, that's a pretty good schedule if you can make all those. I'll be in Columbus in June. Won't be able to make Niagara. Won't be able to make Seattle. Won't be able to make PAX. So, you have a shot at all 4. I'll be at one of them. And there is just no way. PAX, nope. There's no way I can make 3 of those 4. And Corey won't be able to make 3 of the 4. Jessica probably can't make 2 of the 4 at least, maybe not 3 of the 4. It's terrible. James says, just Columbus for me. Yep. Well, we appreciate you supporting us. Game Master, last chance for the win. If I have to, well, actually, if it came down to me having to qualify at a last chance qualifier to get in the Nats, I probably would just sit it out and help James run it. Okay, the NAOL stuff is up, says Howard, but not the regionals. Regionals aren't there yet. Okay. I was happy with the way Top Deck performed during the Nats. Just that it was hard getting started at the beginning, but after that, everything went really smooth. So I don't think we're going to have any issues with Top Deck. Kind of happy about it. Have they published the deck list yet? Because I happen to know they've got them because they left them here, and I had to scan them and forward it on to them. So I also kept a copy just in case. Ricky says it's going to be weird playing Legacy. Yeah, it's been a while since we have too. Well, Boston, right? I think Boston was the last time we played it. But after Boston, we just put them away and focused strictly on the modern game. Andy says Top Deck itself ran great. Yep, I think Top Deck's going to be the way to go. And I think Howard's the one who went out and found Top Deck, and that was good. I think it's going to make life a whole lot easier for everybody. Goose says, nope, but I'm going to guess the top 8 decks may be released in their newsletter. Huh. Okay. I don't know what they're waiting on. But they got them all. Everything that was in writing or printed out here, they've got them. So if there was something that was submitted only on Top Deck and they didn't print it out, then that one they'd have to download, but I mean, it's out there, right? Howard says the top 8 get pins, foils, and qualify for Nats. There we go. We will have a leaderboard that shows who has qualified. That's awesome. Howard, I appreciate how you keep everything updated and nothing lags behind. I hope they get the pins in time. You guys, I'm going to spill the beans just a little bit here. they had 8 playmats at the Nats for certain events that happened at the Nats. And those playmats were made the week of the Nats, thanks to my playmat guy Ken, who stepped up and did them virtually overnight. And the reason he did that is because the pins did not arrive in time, and the pins aren't here as of now. As a matter of fact, I sent Tyler a message today just to let him know. I know he's not there anymore. I don't think he's doing anything for him now, but I never did get the pins. They were supposed to be here the Friday, 4 days ago, and they didn't show up. So hopefully Robin has his pins or a tracking number or something. It's just crazy. Ricky says, Columbus last year was my last time playing Legacy. Wow. All right, Ricky's forgotten how to play Legacy. Now's the time to beat up on him. Hey, Doug, how are you? Seattle in September is all modern, both NAOL and LRG. First set with Skybound. First event was Skybound? Yeah, okay, because that'll be September. We'll have your event September 5th and 6th, and Skybound will probably release September 6th. 5th and 6th, maybe the 4th. Is the 4th a Friday? They'll be late. You know they're going to be late, right? So we should have it. You guys will have it. I won't be there. I might have to run a small event here in Columbus for those of us who... Oh, I can't. I got MatsuriCon. I'll run it the week before. Man. Well, I'm super happy that at least in Seattle we'll be able to start playing Invincible. Howard says finalists, a sealed box, top 4 get cash. Game Master says nice. Hey Joey, how are you? Pins hurt. You got that right. Pins hurt, Joey. Howard says second chance finalist box of World Legends and cash. Draws for a box of ERB and event playmats. Is everyone who attends getting a playmat, or is that just random drawings? Game Masters, weather delays. A championship trophy. Holy cow, Howard, you guys are giving away a lot of stuff. Game Master says all carriers are backed up. Well, yes, Game Master, they are, but they're not backed up that much. FedEx is the absolute worst right now. They're backed up something awful. And Doug says Skybound August 15th. Yeah, we shall see, Doug. I'll believe it when I'm holding it in my hands on August 13th. I'm going to get it early so that I can release it to my customers on the 15th. I have to have it on the 13th or the 14th. And they will not let me show any openings before the release date. So we're going to do something special. And maybe we'll do a midnight release and sit here in this beautiful game room of ours and open some Skybound at midnight, which should only be 9 o'clock in California. So that would be good, right? The Goose says it's going to be awesome to play a double day of Skybound in Seattle. Yep. Game Masters, so we get new prize packs for Invincible. Yes, I believe they will be all new prize packs. And Ricky says no legacy allowed in Seattle, or it's a question. It's not a statement. The reason there, Ricky, is most of them are new players, so they don't have the old cards. So Doug is just making it modern only. And I don't have a problem with it. I think it's good. I really wouldn't care if everything just went modern. Even though I love playing the older cards the best. It's time to put them away. I guess it's fun to pull them out and play them every once in a while, but we're all just focused on modern right now. I think Corey might want to play the classic game more than any of us. I'm not sure. I'll have to ask him. Howard says, I make no guarantees the prizes will be there in time. That part is out of my hands. I know, Howard. I know. And if they're there on time, that would be awesome. Robin, I hope you get everything. I hope you start 2026 out getting all of the prizing on time. May you be the first one. Technically, Columbus did, but that's because we swapped out the pins for play mats at the last minute. I think we had everything else, right? So it's just kind of funny at this point, right? I mean, what are you going to do? Ricky says, that's the reason I'm thinking of going to do Legacy 2. Ricky, just do Modern, buddy. Just Modern up there. And he says, they said the prize packs will be very different this time, too. Well, they have to, right? There'll be nothing exclusive. It's all going to be alt art instead of exclusive cards. I got a feeling we're not going to get any characters in there, but I could be wrong. They've really, as a playtester, I have not seen the any characters. We did not playtest those any characters. We have a little bit of insight on what's going to be there, just from what Joe was dropping hints of during the Nats weekend. It will be interesting to see. I kind of like what Joe told me, but he did not go into in depth about what it was. But it does sound like the any characters are going to be good. Joey says, I'm bored with Modern at the moment. Need Skybound and Top Cow ASAP. You're bored with them? Oh my gosh. Joey, there's so much you could do there. 43 characters. And Howard says, random draws for, I believe, 7 playmats. Wow. That's going to make those a little valuable. I think Cthulhu and Zorro, I had them for sale at the Nats. I got $60 a piece out of those. And he says, I'll definitely be trying to give the old game a spin for the Memorial Cup. We'll see how it goes. We'll have you ready by then, Andy. We'll build you a battle site, whatever one you want. James says, I wonder what they will do with the leftover ERB prize packs. 10 per win at next Nats. Yeah, that's a good question, James. That would be awesome. Ricky, not an NAOL tourney if no legacy. That's why the combined are great. I like both games. I love the legacy game and I like the modern game. I would not say I love them both. I do love a lot of the characters in ERB, and I'm having a lot of fun playing them. But I still love my Marvel characters. I love a few of my DC characters, like Neron and the Ray. I don't think I'll ever enjoy the modern characters like I do those, although maybe I might be swayed. We'll see. We'll see how Strasbourg, how I do up there, and then I can decide whether I like a modern legacy mix. Howard says, Swag for Everyone is the Few and Curse promo card. Yep. And Ricky says, they really are pretty different games. Yeah, they really are. Without battle sites, the modern game will never be the same as the legacy game. Andy says, maybe they'll have alt arts of the new Any characters or foils in the prize packs. They could. Honestly, don't know. But I kind of doubt that they will, because I think the first time we're going to see those well, you know what? They could. They really could, because I think we're going to get them in Few and Cursed, right? Allegedly, there's going to be so many characters in the Few and Cursed. So that'll be really cool. I can't wait for them to spoil the Few and Cursed set. Patty Crypto says, I'll have a non-official proxy promo to give out at Strasbourg too. Oh, that's awesome. I can't wait to see it. Sharp tooth, says Ricky. Doug says, I love the Legacy game too, but tons of new players means really tough to get old cards for them all. I understand, Doug, and I agree with what you're doing. Most of your guys up there wouldn't be able to play in a Legacy event. Howard says, we won't play if Legacy disappears. There's room for both formats, and having a mixed environment sells cards and keep us OGs happy. Ricky says, just need a printer. Yes, we got to keep Legacy relevant as well. And Doug says, last NAO event here, multiple people just played modern decks against Legacy. If you didn't play the Legacy game, I can see where you don't have the drive to go get those Legacy cards. I know we have a Discord channel here in Ohio for all the Overpower players, and the guys were talking about learning the battle sites for the classic game. And I warned them in advance that you guys are diving down a deep, dark hole, and it's so much more fun, absolutely. But, man, you're going to spend a lot of money even just printing them out. Ricky said, that's a good enough springboard for them. Those cards are so expensive. I don't know. I guess there's a lot of playable cards that you can get out of our quarter 5 for $1 box, but it's a lot. I don't know. Goose says, that's good if they include any characters in the decks. I thought they should have included Freya in all the ERB decks. Yes, and the Few and Cursed ones could easily include a few of the new AC staples. Yes, I got a feeling that there will be something there. But the way I understand it, it's going to be a whole suite of new any characters that you can't mix and match. You either play the any characters we have now, or you play the any characters that are going to be in Skybound. And you're going to have a card designating which one you're using, similar to a home base. That way your opponent will know he doesn't have to worry about Grim Reaper, or he does have to worry about Grim Reaper. The way I understand it, they're trying to make the any characters more defensive so that you can play without a Grim Reaper. And if you play against a Grim Reaper, you have enough, hopefully, of your any characters to defend that card. We'll see. Like I said, we didn't play test it. I know they have. The little group up in Boston, they all get together and play test it, but the play testers in general did not. So I'm curious to see what they are. And Ricky says, especially now that the rules have been retold to match new stuff. Yeah, I think it just comes down to how hard is it to get them. Goof says, it's really fun to play Legacy, but I have no idea what all the characters do, so I never know what to expect. Yep, that's huge. So instead of knowing the set like ERB, you have to learn hundreds of characters. Yep, very true. Plus battle sites make that even harder. Yeah, it's learning a whole new game. And it's not just 43 characters. Like you said, there are hundreds of them when you take into effect Image, DC, and Marvel. So it's a lot to put on someone. I know Nora and Jessica, when we first taught them, they loved playing the game. And then we added battle sites. And I believe that's what really exploded them both enjoying the game so much, because of all of the nuances of a battle site. It just takes it to another level. Andy says, I also suspect the new any characters will be less flexible and generic than the current ones to make for trickier decisions and prevent the game from getting overwhelmed by defense. That'll be I'll be interested to see what's in there. I'll just put it that way. I already don't play the assist. The 4 may make one additional in the current any characters. I would rather have a card that I can use for defense, so I don't need another card to attack with out of my deck. I got lots of attacks in the deck, and I know Andrew and I kind of had the conversation after he beat me, but the chains, everyone, oh, speed, speed, speed. I'd rather be able to defend your assist than sit there with an assist in my hand when you throw an assist at me. Just my personal way of playing. I also don't run a whole bunch of allies. And in the classic game, I don't run any allies. None. Zero. Zilch. James says you're going to have home bases, then a kind of base saying which any character set you're using, then also going to have towns as characters in the Skybound set. It's going to get confusing about what locations what. Maybe. It might be a little confusing. We shall see how that works out. The Goof says, I've had to change my expectations. In ERB, I hold defenses because I am looking out for certain attacks. When I play Legacy, I just have to make my best move possible with very imperfect information. Yep, there's just so much to learn. If you go back into the classic game, you're starting all over. And the players that have been playing it for 30 years, they got even 20 years, they got a little bit of an advantage. There's a lot of things that can hit you out of that battle site that you'd have no idea it's coming. It's kind of like even in the modern stuff. I don't know all the modern cards very well. Usually I visually look at the artwork to know what the card does, but all this artwork looks so similar. It's kind of hard to tell. It's a lot more detailed than the old Marvel stuff. When I see a card for Henry Pym, for instance, I know what that card does because none of his cards look similar. So and when I look at Sun Wukong, it's like, okay, what one is that? Is that the shift? Is that the avoid? Because they're all kind of busy. A lot going on. It's not just a picture of a character doing something like delivering a punch. So it's a lot harder for me. And a lot of times I just ask my opponents, well, what's that one do? Can I read it? And I go from there. Eventually, maybe I'll catch on. And I'll catch up to all you guys who don't have to do that. But it's hard. It's difficult for me to remember them all. I tend to, even back in the day, I would take out the cards that the characters I didn't care about and set them aside and not really pay attention to what their cards did. Then if I go to a tournament and see somebody start playing those characters, then I'd have to go back and make sure I know what they do. Make sure I knew the rulings. But the way things are now, I can't just look at a card and tell by the artwork. So if you want to learn the classic game, we'll teach you. I think it's a lot more fun, but I don't know how long it'll carry on. We'll see. Well, actually, I think Robin's going to have a good turnout, so it's not like I'm doom and gloom and think the classic game's going to go away. Obviously, you guys are traveling all over the place for these regionals, and you're going to stay another day to play in a classic game, most of them. So I call it classic, they call it legacy. Sorry, don't mean to use two different terminations for you guys, but the legacy format is where I grew up playing. I didn't grow up playing it. What am I saying? I was already grown up when I started playing it, but it's what I played. That's what I love. I would love to see battle sites in this new game, but I don't see how that's ever going to happen. At least not the battle sites that we used to have. I think battle sites took that classic game to another level. All right, so getting back to my 2026, not predictions, just kind of this is what's going to happen in 2026. We're all the way through to the end of the year, Invincible in August, and then hopefully Top Cow in December. I know a lot of guys are looking forward to that. Again, not much for me. Again, it'll just come down to what characters are playable on teams. Hopefully, we'll have an announcement for early in 2027 that will get Marvel back in the fold. And then we can start planning that out. Anyone that's playtesting, there's another, you probably saw the email that went out over the weekend. Still waiting. I don't know what's going on. If you want to play test, reach out to LRG and see if they're still accepting play testers, because we have not started yet. And I don't know if they're still looking for them or not. I know here in Columbus we got a few play testers. We're kind of anxious to get started, take a look at this stuff, but looks like we're just another delay. Eventually, LRG's got to get over this hump about being late on everything. Starting late to play test is almost as bad as releasing late. So either don't put out dates or hit them. You can't do both. You can't be putting out dates and missing them. It's just not going to work. It'll get you a bad reputation from the start. And the Goof says, oh, yeah, all the double OP days are great. I'm looking forward to the modern and legacy days. Game Master says, I'm still learning the characters and specials. Need that Opedia goat. Need the Opedia that the goat mentioned before. Goof says, ugh, I hope Top Cow doesn't come out until February. Releasing full sets more frequently than every 6 months will deter me from the game. You know, I don't think it'll deter me any, Goof, but I would probably buy less of certain sets. I would like to see no more than 2 per year. So you're actually hoping that Top Cow gets delayed. That's kind of funny, since everything is always delayed with them, right? You might get your wish, Goof. You just might get your wish. Ricky says, same, hopefully not that often for releases. And Game Master said, I would like to play test. Game Master, I don't know if there's a group out there. You might have to put one together, but you'd have to reach out to LRG. I don't know how many play testers they have or how many groups they have. So you'd have to talk to them about it. I keep getting dragged back into it. I'm trying not to play test, and everyone just keeps dragging me back in. Everyone being the guys here in Columbus. Andy says, I think Top Cow releasing in December, then another release in the middle of the year would be all right. Just realign the schedule. Ricky says, Opedia is great. And James says, has anyone gotten their replacement sheets or Lokis yet? That's a great question. I was just thinking about that this morning. I do not even have a tracking number for my uncut sheets. So nope, not me. Game Master says maybe 2 sets and small exclusives. I like the idea of 2 sets and then maybe a Kickstarter for something like the Few and Cursed. I would love that. Traveling Goof says 2 a year plus 1 dual deck is fine for me, but having to learn a new set every 4 months is too much. I can't keep up with the weekly play cycles that almost requires keep up. I think you're right, Goof. 3 sets a year would be too much. I can't see You know what? I can't see watching a movie where a man in an iron suit flies, but you know what? Hollywood made me believe a man can wear an iron suit and fly. So maybe they could pull it off. I don't know. That's a lot. I think they got to be smaller sets. Oh, I can't imagine 3 sets of 40 characters each. That's a lot. Ricky says this game is too dense and too many variations that each set needs time to breathe. Yeah, we've been playing World Legends for a year now, right? And guys are still coming up with new variations. I think we're pretty close to maxing it out now. But there's a lot there. And you can play one good set, you can play it for a year. James says, I started buying so much less Magic when they went beyond 2 sets a year. Yeah, it not only does it hurt your pocketbook, but it's just hard to keep up with everything. Yeah, try Magic or Pokemon, says Game Master. Yeah, I know it. They're pumping out stuff constantly. Well, at least with Pokemon, you get, 3 sets a year? And everything else that they put out is just reprints or packs of sets they've already had out. But they do put out a lot of stuff. Goose says, I wonder if LRG has heard any of that feedback. It sounds like in their head they're hoping for 3 a year still, right? As far as I know, they haven't said anything publicly about maybe cutting it back to 2. And we had ERB. This year we're just going to have Invincible and Top Cow. I think Invincible and Top Cow back to back is going to be pretty bad, right? They're going to be August and December. So you'll just be finding out what is really good in the Invincible set, and then here comes Top Cow. There's a reason I don't play Magic or Pokemon, says the Goof. Yeah, I get it. Ricky says Pokemon and Magic are easier to alter existing decks with new sets. Got to overhaul for the game. This right, Ricky. This game, it's a complete overhaul every time a new set comes out. You might tamper with the deck, take one character out, and put a new character in, but with 40 new characters, holy cow! How could you not find a whole new deck to play in there? And then you take 40 and 40 from 2 sets, put them together, and now you got 80 characters to choose from. I'm sure you'll find something in there to play. Game Master says, I think 3 sets a year will keep the younger crowd. What? Will keep the younger crowd be interested and allow. Whoops. Nope. He deleted it before I could read it all. James says, at least Top Cow will probably be the last set before Nat, so there will be some breathing room. Well, yeah, I don't see him doing one in December and another one in early February. So the Nats will have Top Cow, Invincible, Few and Cursed, and ERB next year. Wow, that's a lot. That's interesting. I'm going to try. I can't wait to play the Few and Cursed, one of Felipe's characters. So kind of looks like it'll go back to a combat-based deck. I mean, I can get the redhead on the deck with King Arthur. The Goof says, first you got to get the younger crowd interested before you keep them interested. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. And Invincible will bring them in, but I don't think Top Cow's going to keep them, bringing them back. That's what scares me. Until it gets pushed back, that is. I would almost like to see Top Cow not come out till after the Nats. Oh well. You know, it's not my business. It's theirs to do with what as they will, and we'll make the most of it, right? Patty Crypto says, way easier to update Magic decks with new sets. I think I've changed 1 or 2 cards in my main Commander deck in the last year. Wow. Mickey says, where's my K-pop Demon Hunter set? That might bring some players in, huh? Some of the younger crowd. And he says, I bet Few and Cursed has something for every power type, honestly. You think? Brute force? An intellect? I don't know. I'm seeing mostly energy and combat out of those characters, but I'm sure Felipe will set me straight. Goose says Invincible won't bring them in if LRG doesn't start promoting the game outside of conventions and regionals. They just hired a marketing manager, so we should start seeing some marketing outside of conventions and regionals. James says, I'm calling it now. The Few and Curse is going to be the best set. I've heard some great things. Well, I'll tell you what, Felipe's enthusiasm for his set is off the charts. And just being around him and hanging out with him and hearing what he's got to say will make you excited about that set. So when they announce it in April and it goes live, I hope you guys hit it hard that very first day and back it big. And then we start hitting all of those stretch goals, and we just make that Few and Cursed set so successful that they'll do another one. And just keep it coming. I can definitely see the Few and Cursed brute force characters like some big beefy monsters, says Andy. Says, oh, that's some good news. Yeah, it was. I think they introduced him at Gamma, and I don't remember his name, if I even heard it. Somebody just sent me a message saying, hey, they got a marketing director here. So we'll see where that goes. I would like to know who it was and see what his background is. Maybe I'll invite him on the show and we can talk about that. Yeah, I knew what you meant there, Goof, hiring a marketing manager. So it's a step in the right direction. I don't know what his background is. I need to find that out. I don't think they made a public announcement. They probably just introduced him down there in Gamma. So I'll have to look into it, find out what his name is and what his background is. So, all right, guys, that is my 2026, like I said, not predictions, just the things to expect. Team Ohio is going to let you guys have a few top eights that more than you had last year. So get your play groups together, practice hard, get out there, work on it. We're not going to be at 3 of the 4 regionals, so we'll leave some spots open for you this year. I got to tell you, though, 2025, I had a whole lot of fun traveling around. So I hope you guys have as much fun in 2026 as we had in 2025. And go out there and win. And show everybody how to do it. We're going to see you all in 2 weeks in Stroudsburg. I hope you guys show up, support Robin in his store. He's a great guy. He's been here to Columbus, I don't know, 4 times, 3 or 4, maybe 5 times. And we're going to go out. We're coming in. We're driving. Airfare was ridiculous. So we're going to drive out there. We'll get there late Friday, and we'll just leave Sunday morning. So we're only planning to play on Saturday. I know he has events for all 3 days. So if you just want to come out and hang out for 3 whole days at the store, he'll be glad to have you and show you a good time. Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you all. If you haven't, please leave us a like on the way out, and we'll see you all next Monday. Have a good week.